Have you ever wondered why you're craving onions? The things that make you cry? I love this topic because onions are untraditional craving items, but we crave them nonetheless. So, why is that? And I'm Jared, and I'm a former binge eating wrestler turned Zen monk, and now I'm an eating coach counselor and I help people with overeating. And so, in this video, we're going to be exploring some emotional reasons, some deficiency reasons, and some health reasons why you're craving onions. And this is, again, just really interesting because, I've been blogging about food for a long time. And this post about onions, which is down below, you can link to that. It's one of my top posts. And there are good reasons why you crave onions, even though, raw onions obviously are going to make you cry. It just goes to show you that cravings are not just about sugar. There's also other reasons that you crave food. So, first of all, let's talk about health. If you have a liver problem, the liver's located underneath the rib cage, and onions have a lot of sulfur. So if your liver isn't quite getting enough sulfur, it's going to want onions. And this is not the most common reason you crave onions. We'll get into that later, but it is an important one, and I want to highlight this first. If you are having dark urine, skin that is yellow, you know, if you're losing your appetite, all these things, you might have a liver problem. And if you're also craving onions at the same time that your pee is dark yellow, that your skin is starting to itch and yellow, you go see the doctor. Okay, go see the doctor. Have some onions, sure, but go see the doctor. Okay, so let's get into a more common reason that people crave onions. They're not feeling well. And I don't know about you, but I remember as a kid, sometimes when I was feeling unwell, my mom would make me a soup. And sometimes it was an onion soup. Oftentimes it was like a chicken, onion, potato soup with carrots in it. And I remember like the warm and the liquid, and I couldn't really eat. I was feeling nauseous. And so this onion soup would help me feel better. And so if you're craving onions, it could be because you're craving this association to a pleasant experience. And this craving for an association helps explain craving in general, not just for onions, but for all cravings. That's why I really like this. So, there is another reason that if you're sick, you might want the onions because there's a lot of health benefits to onions. If you remember that book, Holes is one of my favorite books as a kid growing up. And in Holes, this guy would apparently ate onions and he lived to be like 200 years old. And at the very top, at the very climax of the book, um, Stanley Yelnuts, he's climbing this hill and he's starving and he's in the desert and he comes across the magic onions that kept this farmer alive for a long, long time. He eats these onions and he lives off them because they have water. They they help boost the immune system. They help treat the stomach ache. They got all these good things going on. So the third reason is that onions actually are tasty. They, especially when you cook them, and we'll talk about raw onions and garlic and so forth in a little bit. But if you cook onions, right, a sweet onion is good for frying, right? The white onion is crunchy. They have these different tastes, these different aromas. And if you're craving onions, it's probably because you're craving the boosted taste that you get from various foods when you cook them. Now, um, why do we crave raw onions? You might be wondering that. So far, I've been primarily talking about cooked onions, and we all know the onions make you cry. But I don't know about you, but onions actually come from the earth, and they can be very, very good on certain foods. We think that foods like raw onions, they obviously don't taste good by themselves, they make us cry. But just because something doesn't taste good by themselves doesn't mean that it can't go well with other things, like a baked potato, a chili dog, obviously burger with onions. I know at In-N-Out, one of my favorite restaurants, fast food restaurant, you get animal style where it's fried onions. And so onions, they provide crunch, they provide texture, they can be used in a lot of different things. You're probably craving onions because you're craving variety in your taste. You want to boost the taste flavor profile, the texture profile. That's probably why you're craving onions. But you might not be feeling well. You might have a liver problem. And sometimes people worry like, what's going to happen if I eat onions every day? Listen, the only thing bad that's going to happen is you're going to have bad breath. Okay, so make sure you take some breath mints and don't worry about it. Okay, onions, they're fine. Now, why do you crave onions and garlic? Well, these are just amazing things that go together. It's like peanut butter and jelly or chocolate milk. There's certain food groups. Rice and beans is another one. Um, they just go well together. They're like two peas in a pod. All right. So garlic and onions, they go super well together. That's why you're crave those. They're so good. The smell, I can like smell the olive oil and the cooking right now is, oh man, I might even do a stir fry later or something. Um, okay, so that just recaps real quick. Health benefits if you're feeling sick and if you want to make the food taste better. That's probably why you're craving it. Hope this video has been helpful. Visit eatingenlightenment.com for more information. And there's also a link where I do a blog article down below where you can check that out for more information. Okay, be sure to like this video and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and I appreciate your presence. So, without further ado, as usual, namaste and namaste.